Hey Joe, it's Folks here. In today's video, I have something for you that you should do if your store is not making any sales before you close it. Personally, I've been selling print-on-demand products since 2016. I've had lots of stores. I've even sold print-on-demand stores in the past. Since starting uploading videos here on YouTube, I've also been working with others as well to help them with their stores, and I've attended a few different print-on-demand events to share some of my experiences. And today, in this video, I want to share a little bit about something I do when I have a failing product. Because yes, ultimately I have made sales, I have built profitable stores, but I've also had my fair share of failure. If you're someone that has been at this for a few months, you've been uploading designs, doing some marketing, but you have zero sales, today's video will definitely help. If you haven't gotten started yet, this can be something you do at the beginning to avoid a situation where you're putting months and months of time in but not making any sales. I also have a free print-on-demand course. It's called Print on Demand for Dummies. There's a link down in the description. Inside are over 30 videos to help you to get started building out your own store and selling products on social media. Let's say, for example, you wanted to sell print-on-demand blankets like these from Printify. This is a product category that I have sold a lot of in the past. I've also shown this site here on my store, and you can see that they're selling their blankets for a very premium price. We have them over $100. This hooded blanket here is one of my best-selling products of all time. I have some reviews of it here on my channel as well. And let's say that you did want to sell your own print-on-demand blankets. What sometimes people do is they find stores like this here and they see what they're pricing the products at. And when they see that a store like this is selling them for $109, they assume that that price is something that they should sell them at as well. And maybe sometimes people will reduce their price a little bit, but ultimately they do price it at a premium price because they look at it as something they can make a lot of profit on. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but at the beginning, why don't you just try to see if you can make any sales at all before trying to make all of your profit? To some of you, that might sound completely counterintuitive to everything I talk about here on my channel. However, one thing I always do when I am launching a new product or a new design or a new niche or a new store for the first time is I price things at the absolute lowest possible price. The reason I do this is because I completely remove pricing as a barrier for people to purchase. That way I don't find myself in a position where 2, 3, 4 months into the project, I haven't made as many sales as I want and I have to consider lowering my prices to see if the product will sell. And basically what I'm saying to you is if you are basically on the brink of closing your store, again, let's say that you're someone that has been running your site for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe you're on Shopify, you're on Etsy, you've got a bunch of designs, you get a lot of views on your stuff, but you're not making sales. Maybe what you should try to do before closing your store and before making new designs and before changing your niche is try to cut your prices. And if you're wondering how low you should go, I'm basically advising you, if you are selling something like this here, to price it at the exact price that Printify charges you for it. To some people, this may sound completely crazy. However, what you're doing is you're removing price as a barrier. Let's just say that in a hypothetical situation, you did change the price. You said, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to cut my prices. I'm going to make them the exact same price that I pay Printify for my product. If you do that, there's going to be two possible outcomes. The first is nobody buys it, and you are basically trying to give it away. In a lot of cases, that is going to be an extremely valuable piece of information, because if you are practically giving the item away and you're still not making sales, that tells you that you need to make a change. That tells you that the hunch you have about your store potentially needing to be closed is true. It tells you that maybe your niche is not great. It also tells you that maybe your designs need some work, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time because you're able to find that out almost immediately by cutting your prices. The second scenario that's going to happen is maybe you make a sale, and yeah, you're not going to make any profit, but don't panic, because even if you were priced at your regular price and you made a sale and you made $20 or $30 in profit on the blanket, it's not like you would have taken that $20 or $30 and closed down the store and called it a wild success. Ultimately, what you're doing is you're sacrificing some profit to validate your idea before moving forward. If you are in a situation where you're not making sales and you cut your prices and you begin to make sales, it tells you that you are at least on the right track. It tells you that from there you can try to figure out ways to add value to your niche, you can try to improve your designs, and ultimately find that perfect price where there's going to be a balance between people actually buying the product and you making a good profit on it. This is something I do with all of my print-on-demand stores, except I do it at the beginning. If you're someone that is just launching a site, instead of pricing your product at the ideal profit level, why don't you just price it a little bit low? Why don't you essentially do exactly what I'm talking about here in this video and try to see if anybody will buy your product when you're practically giving it away. If your store is new, if no one buys, it's going to tell you that whatever you've created is not good enough, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time and energy and potentially money on running the store and marketing it. If, however, on the other hand, people do buy your stuff when your store is brand new and you're priced at a really low price, that's going to basically give you confidence. You're going to be able to make your first sales, and whether you're making profit or not, it validates that what you've created is actually good enough. And there are a couple of different ways you could get creative with this. Of course, you could just go through your store and you could change all of the prices. You could also put things on some sort of a sale where an original price will show and then the new price that the customer pays will show as well on the page. However, one thing you could do to get a little bit creative is come up with a uniquely themed flash sale for your store, and that might encourage people to actually purchase on the day they are seeing your item. As I am making this video today, it is April 8th, 2024, which means we do have a total solar eclipse happening here in the United States. One thing you could do, just as an example, is you could create a one-day flash sale. You could tell people to use code ECLIPSE today only to get a huge 50% discount or something like that. Obviously, work out your prices and your discount code to fit what I am talking about, but doing some sort of a flash sale based on something that's actually happening is a great way to make the sale seem authentic. In addition to the eclipse, you could look up random holidays that are happening on the day that you're running the flash sale. Like sometimes it's actually National Grilled Cheese Day or National Hot Dog Day and stuff like that. You could get a little bit creative with it and try to come up with unique ways to implement a flash sale instead of just cutting all of your prices randomly. And ultimately, like I said, this is something that you should sort of view as a last-ditch effort before closing your store. I've talked to a lot of people that tell me things like, I've created a whole bunch of designs, I get a lot of views, but I'm not making sales. And in some cases, when I look at their store, maybe they're selling blankets like I showed you before, and they're pricing them over $100, which is a fine price for some stores, but for your store, maybe not. Maybe the price should be lower. And if you just cut the prices from the beginning, if your store is new, you could avoid getting yourself into a situation like that. So let me know your thoughts. Am I crazy or am I on to something? Let me know down in the comments below if this is something that you've tried before, or maybe it's something that you're going to try after hearing this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.